Hello. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, feel free to go to DuckDuckGo and look up Rob Skiba debunks Rob Skiba. I give him a lot of credit because he was willing to admit that he had debunked himself. Only thing is, it bothered me, and it made me think, what is wrong with what he is thinking? Because he's wrong something there. I'm totally proud of him for thinking that he had debunked himself, but I thought, what is the missing piece of that whole thing? So in that video, he decides to get out something like a beach ball and a baseball and use his hallway and a camera. And so he takes the beach ball, which is about a foot in diameter, and puts it on the floor. And then he walks about 30 feet away. So that's supposed to represent about 30 supposed Earth diameters. Because the Earth is, yeah, I did. Sorry. Oh. Okay, so the Earth is supposed to be about 8,000 miles in diameter. So then he used the beach ball to represent that. And so he said, if I walk 30 feet away, that would be like something like a 250,000 miles away from the Earth. Technically 238,000 miles. So then he puts the baseball there, and then he walks, I guess you could say, another 90 steps away, which would be, because he was talking about this one picture, supposedly of the moon passing in front of the Earth, where the satellite that took it was supposed to be 1,000,000 miles away from the Earth. So then he does that 90 steps away. No, wait, I guess it'd be 120 steps away. And then he takes a picture of, or actually more, being more correct according to their own scale than he thought. It says my connection is unstable. And then he goes right up to the baseball, and he gets his camera, and he looks at the Earth with the baseball on the horizon, and the Earth looks actually quite small. And he thinks, scratches his head, and he says, I guess I've just debunked myself. So I'm really proud of Rob for thinking that he had to be honest with himself and say that he had debunked himself. But I thought there's something wrong with what he's thinking. What's wrong with his thinking that he thinks he's debunked himself? Because there's no way that makes sense. I see what he's thinking, but what's wrong with what he's thinking? And then it hit me. He's a giant in that model. If you have that beach ball being a foot in diameter and you have that baseball being something like a quarter of the size of that beach ball, well then Rob Skiba is way bigger than even the beach ball. He's certainly way bigger than the baseball. And here's the thing. There was supposed to be men on the moon that were way smaller than the moon. So then Rob Skiba is this mega giant. So he has to imagine himself shrinking himself to being the size that one of those little wee men would have been on that baseball. And then imagine taking a picture. But not only that, this is where Feed Your Mind shines. It's a problem that the picture is even taken from the side because all those supposed landing sites on the moon are all always directly facing the Earth. The so-called scientists claim that that's because the rotation of the moon is so perfectly synchronized with the orbit of the moon that the same face is always facing the Earth. Either way, that face is always facing the Earth, and all those supposed landing sites were right in the center of that face. None were off to the side. So what are they doing? Showing a side view of the Earth from the moon. That right there debunks the spherical theories. But yeah, again, Rob Skiba, if you ever hear this, and I'd be, kind of tickled if you did. Kind of a famous guy, but as far as I'm concerned, you have to imagine shrinking yourself down again to being small enough to be a little speck on that baseball, just like those men would have been if they had been walking on the moon. Well, but you shrink yourself down, but still that beach ball is still the same size. So of course that beach ball becomes way bigger because now you're this little puny little ant on the baseball, and that beach ball didn't shrink. So then, relative to you, it becomes huge. So I consider that my way of debunking Rob Skiba's debunking of himself, and therefore undebunking him. And so I thought I'd just put that out there. And also simply say that, at least in my opinion, TEIFAIM, the earth is flat and it matters. And look around, people. This world needs more flat earthers. It needs more warriors that are willing to be mocked and ridiculed. And I know peer pressure is no joke, but don't get comfortable with the spherical theories or with the so-called science that tells you that we live on a spherical planet orbiting the sun, because that is just a big fat lie, at least in my opinion. And I pray you'll have a blessed day.